our first question, we're going to go with the grade 11s. Now, I'm not going to try and draw this cow. I'm going to rather show you this cow. There's the cow. Can you see the cow? Okay, and it's got a through gut. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try and attempt to draw a cow, but I am going to draw what the digestive part is. So this is from the mouth, okay, and then you've got the food flows in. Now remember, cows have got this huge ruminating tummy, okay, and then it goes, the food will go in here, and then it goes into the proper stomach. And I've drawn this the other way around. Hang on. You see this drawing thing. It's yeah, I think I need to go for drawing lessons, guys and girls, don't you think so? Okay, then it comes out of here and then it goes into the stomach. All right, and then it goes beady 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 and out through the anus. All right. So that's relatively simplified. Okay, so what we would have is the food comes in at the mouth, it goes into this ruminating stomach, and then it goes from there, it comes through a pipe and it goes into the stomach proper, and then it moves out through the digestive, through the intestines, and out through the anus. Okay, the first question they ask is, state whether the animal has a blind gut or a through gut. Well, it has a through gut. Why? Because over here, there is, or even over there is no cecum. Now remember, the cecum is that sort of blind section of the large, where the ileum comes into the large intestine. So in a normal human digestive system, this would be the ileum. Ileum. What am I doing? Okay, and then the food comes in here, and then it goes into the large intestine. Okay, this part here is the cecum. And the cecum has sort of got a blind end here. And that's why it's called the blind gut. Now, there is no blind gut here. As you can see, it moves all the way through from the mouth, and there is no cecum here at all. So it's not a blind gut, it is a through gut. The next question says, state one advantage of this gut that is mentioned here. Well, that's easy. The food travels from the mouth and it travels all the way through, okay, until it gets to the anus. So the food enters at one end and it proceeds through the system, okay, it gets digested, okay, and it exits at the other end. And while it is being digested, in this through gut, you end up with no digested food mixing with undigested food. Another point is that when you have a through gut, you have specific sections of the digestive tract, which means from the mouth to the anus, that is differentiated for different functions. Now think about it. In our stomachs, for example, we have proteins being digested there because we have pepsin and we have renin. Renin digests milk protein. Pepsin digests all other proteins, okay? And we have a lot of hydrochloric acid because those enzymes work in a low pH. Then when the food moves into the duodenum, well, into the small intestine, it goes into the duodenum, which is a wider section. And why is it a wider section? Because the digestive juices that come in there from the gallbladder and from the pancreatic duct, which forms the common bowel pancreatic duct, they bring a whole bunch of substances and enzymes and the bile contains has a very high pH. So what it does is they all neutralize the acid from the stomach, so that the enzymes further along in the small intestine, which work in an alkaline pH, will be able to do their function and not be denatured by the acid. Okay, so then in the stomach, you're digesting. In the small intestine, you're digesting, but you also have the villi to absorb all the nutrients that have already been digested and broken down into their monomer state. So your amino acids, your glucose, your fructose, your galactose, your minerals, your vitamins, water, all of those things are going to be absorbed into the villi, which increase the surface area for absorption, and into the capillaries, and it's going to be zhoops, goes via the venule, which then becomes the vein, and off it goes back to the heart to be oxygenated again. Okay, so that's what happens in the small intestine. And then when you get to the large intestine, what happens there? Well, in the large intestine, you are now going to be absorbing water and any water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C, D, E, A, K. So all your vitamin B's and your vitamin C's are your fat-soluble vitamins. I always remember D, E, A, K are your fat-soluble, and that means B's and C's are your water-soluble vitamins. Your water-soluble vitamins are then absorbed with the water in at the colon. And sometimes when you don't eat enough fiber and everything moves, it doesn't get speeded and move through with proper peristalsis, you end up with too much water being absorbed in the large intestine, and then you get constipated. Okay, so that's what causes constipation, by the way. So make sure you drink enough water, but more than anything, that you eat a lot of fiber. That's why you must be eating whole wheat bread and all the wonderful fiber things. Although if you are lactose intolerant and you are all the different intolerances, you're going to have a bit of a problem. But anyway, there you go. So that is the digestion. Then I think there's one more question here, and it says, name two phyla that have two. So two phyla means two groupings. Okay, that have animals with a gut like the one in this diagram. In other words, no blind gut, no cecum is going to be. Or a through gut is going to be your annelidas, your anthropods, and your chordatas, I think, chordatas, but your chordatas would be all your vertebrates, okay, would fall into that as well. So there you go. So annelida, anthropoda, and chordata, I've just said it. Okay, what is meant by cephalization? Okay. I'm sure you've heard about the disease encephalitis. Okay, and encephalitis is infection of the brain tissue. All right, that's encephalitis. Your cephala is your brain. Okay, so when they ask you about cephalization, cephalization means there is a concentration of nerves and also, in many cases, your sense organs at the end head region. Okay, so at the head region, you are going to have a concentration of sense organs and nerve tissue. That's cephalization. So we have eyes, nose, mouth, ears, so hearing, smelling, sight, taste. They all here in one area, which is the head area, and the brain sits here, so your nerves are all concentrated. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We're going to go for a quick ad break, and then we're going to look at the kidney. And after that, matrix. I need you on your toes because we are going to just hammer away at genetics.